A Jew is a perpetual traveler. It's not that he's homeless, he's stateless. It's not that he can't be in a house, he's always in a house. That's the bet that starts off Bereshis and starts off the Torah. The large bet. He always has a house. The bet, by the way, is 3 sides. And the wall in Jerusalem, the Wailing Wall, is the 4th side of the bet that makes a completion into the final letter Mem. This final letter Mem is 40, and those are the 40 years of wandering in the desert. To be a perpetual traveler is the highest state. To not have a fixed location, but the entire world is your location. It's not much different than what's happening right now with this broadcast. I'm broadcasting from a specific location, but it goes around the world. The concept of a fixed location is a misinterpretation of the desire of the text of the Torah. In a certain sense, if a man keeps moving and doesn't stay any place long, 30 days, he never has to affix a mezuzah. 30 days is how long if you stay in a place for 30 days. After 30 days, you're supposed to have a mezuzah, but before that, no. Does a sukkah have a mezuzah? You're always in a sukkah. And the clouds of glory are always over your head. And that's the Jewish home. The Jewish home is a sukkah. An impermanent home. And you're a perpetual traveler in the desert, going from Mitzrayim to Israel. But you never get there, because you have the seed of Moses. And that's the highest what's the word? Elevation. I can't say it. Elevation. The highest elevation is to be perpetually on the journey. Perpetually on the journey, but never arriving. The process. There's a goal, but the process to get to the goal is your individual life. This is the same thing I said in a previous video against the about the concept of Mashiach. That the Mashiach concept is a continuing process to the Mashiach, but you never get there. This is the same thing about the return to Zion and Israel. It's a process, but you never get there. It's the same thing about the third temple, supposedly miraculously coming down, formed into that space. It's a beautiful concept. You never get there. That's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that you're never going to get there. You never reach your goal. And that is the goal. The goal is that you never reach your goal. You're never finished. You always have the desire to return. And it will never happen. That's the beauty of it. And that's the highest aspect of it. Once one plugs into this, one is perpetually happy. Without effort. A naturalness when one recognizes that they are in Gan Eden. If you recognize that you're in Gan Eden, would you walk around with a heavy face? If you recognize the bird singing and that you're part bird, would you have a heavy face? Charlie Parker was bird. This is a very deep principle. To be a perpetual traveler. The world is your home, but only for a short time in each individual location. Strangely enough, most laws in countries have this fixed for you. That you can go into any country as a visitor, a tourist. Get a tourist visa for 6 months, or I don't know exactly, 3 months, 6 months. And then you have to go out again, and then you can come back. Or just keep going to another country for 6 months, 3 months. So they aid you to be a perpetual traveler. Why do you need a permanent residence? Go to the next one. These are like meals. You go to the next meal. Now I tell you, this is structured into the Torah. This is the Torah principle. Emulate the Jews in the desert. Emulate them getting out of Mitzrayim. When we're supposed to feel that we're doing the Pesach, the Passover, every day. That's why we say it in the prayers. Every day we're exiting Mitzrayim, exiting our limitation. Zadok, Resh, Zar, narrowness. Exiting our limitations. That's what Mitzrayim is. You don't think they mean the physical Egypt? That was done once. We don't have to be, what are we supposed to be reminded of that? Every day we're supposed to do that. As if we're leaving Egypt every day. We're on the road. We're the wandering Jew. Gypsies have done that. Wandering Sufis have done that. No permanence. The permanence is the grave. That's when the body has permanence. So sometimes I like to look at those pyramids to see permanence. But that's not for the Jew. The Jew's a wandering Jew. I didn't make the wandering Jew up. That's how they were in the diamond business. They can put everything into their pocket. They couldn't carry 2 tons of gold. So these are deep concepts. Know that you are always. Well, again, the great beauty is anti-Semitism against you. So it makes you not feel part fully of whatever country you're in. You live there, but that's not your home. You're wandering, a perpetual traveler. No fixed location. No, lease to your apartment. If you want to go deep, that's what you do. Like a Baal Shem Tov, a wandering Baal Shem. That's the potential of man. If you want to settle for less, that's your business. But don't tell me you're fully following the Torah in fixed locations. You have to drop everything and get ready to go at any time. That's what people learn from some of these disasters that are happening now. Hurricane disasters. Floods. Fires. Where the house goes down and they lose everything. Sure, they lose everything because they had nothing. And if you have nothing, then you have everything. Losing mementos from the past. Cartons and cartons of things in the attics. Books. Drop it. Just drop it and see what happens. Plug in to the 40 years in the desert. Plug in to receiving manna. Plug in to what happens. If it's not for you, okay. Plug in if you want the deep stuff. Perpetual Traveler is the highest aspect of being Jewish, because that's the highest aspect of emunah, of faith, that everything is taken care of by Hashem, which are the same letters as Moshe, rearranged. Emulate Moshe's life. He received the Torah, so do you. Or do you want to perpetuate an existence that's been previous? No matter how high that existence is. There's already been a Moshe. What do you need another one for? A clone? You ever hear the expression, do your own thing? Be your own man. A perpetual traveler is the Jewish goal. Not to have a fashionable $40 million home and then have a second home. It all depends what you want. If you want the deep stuff, I'm here for you.